and of course the ANC intending to sue the DA. And what point did you get here? How did you get to this point?
Well, if you remember last week, the EFF had a press briefing after they had the plenum, which happened the weekend before. And one of the resolutions that came out of the plenum was that the EFF should rule one of the municipalities, and that one of those municipalities is the Metsimaholo municipality in the Free State. So what the EFF has then done is that they went into the Metsimaholo municipality with the clear intention that they want to run that municipality, and they've been trying to convince the DA that the DA supports them to run the municipality. The SABC then decided to look further into the story, only to find out that there's been a motion of no confidence in the mayor that has already been set, that's set to be happening on Tuesday. But beneath all this is a dark story that's happening, or that was unfolding. You have three people. You have a businessman, you have a DA member of the mayoral committee of finance. You also have another MMC who's a member of the MCA. The MCA is an organization that is in charge of the mayoral seat in Metsimaholo. They're part of the DA coalition. And this businessman, who's purported to be an ANC member, we have now learned that this businessman is not an ANC member. He has confirmed that to the SABC, and the ANC also saying that he's not an ANC member. Now they're having this conversation around the current political status of Metsimaholo, and having the DA there. And one of the conversations that they have is that how the DA is blocking the current mayor, Silo Hlasa, from making certain decisions in terms of governing Metsimaholo. And then they speak about how to get rid of the DA's strength that it holds in the municipality. And so the discussion unfolds. But what we should look into here is the conversation goes further, speaking about the speaker of Metsimaholo. So what the speaker of Metsimaholo really does is that she holds a lot of power, because once you go into a municipal election, and rather you want to vote in the council, and the votes are split equally, then that means that the speaker gets an extra vote to break the tie. So the plan here, as it sounds, as these people are discussing, is to make sure that the person that they have in the speaker seat is a person who will be favorable, will vote favorably towards the ANC and not the DA. And that's the case that we face at the moment. And that's the reason why the DA has decided to go to the police and open these three cases. Also the case around the money laundering and racketeering. However, though, those who are heard in those conversations are denying that there's any plot to commit any conspiracy around crime or to unseat the ANC. And these are all three people that we've spoken to, including the Metsimaholo Community Association.
Now, there are reports of a conspiracy to actually murder the speaker. Any merits to those reports?
Well, if you listen back to the audio, the people who are having this conversation are obviously speaking in Sotho, so we've translated what they're saying. And the literal words that are used is the speaker hutlamela ashre, the speaker must die. That's the direct translation of what's being said. But if you listen to the context, and that's the reason why we've decided as the SABC not to have a voiceover over this conversation that's happening, and rather just translate directly so that the viewers at home can make their own conclusion, whether they believe that this is literally saying that the speaker should be killed, or is it just that it's a figure of speech that we should get rid of the speaker.
Did you perhaps try to engage him to clarify on this?
Well, I've spoken to at least the DA councillor. This is the member of the mayoral committee, Mr. Mutibe, who said that actually that was the conversation. The conversation was around getting rid of the speaker and getting in a new speaker, but it was not killing the speaker or murdering the speaker. It's not as tense as that.
Now, I'm actually reading into Mr. Malema's statement that he made at the EFF briefing on Monday that before the actual by-elections there would be no mayor. The mayor would be removed. Now, this gives credence, if you will, that confidence that Julius Malema does have. It sort of implies that there is some sort of deal that was struck by the DA and the EFF. Is there such a deal?
No deal as yet. Actually, at the moment, I understand that they were just meeting, just trying to get exactly what went, how that meeting ended, whether there has been a deal. We've been in touch with the Freedom Front Plus. Remember that the Freedom Front Plus is one of the opposition parties that is part of a national coalition agreement with the DA. Remember that after the elections, you had the Freedom Front Plus, the UDM, the ACDP, as well as COPE, if I'm not mistaken, all came together and they had a national coalition agreement. The EFF was not part of that agreement, but the EFF just merely gave their votes to the DA so that the DA can vote in its mayors. We had Joburg, we had the city of Tshwane, as well as PE. So what the Freedom Front Plus is arguing, that you can't bring in the EFF, which doesn't have a national agreement with us, into this new coalition because there is a national agreement. But then the other issue is that you look at the policies of the EFF, which speaks about land grabs, which speak about land redistribution without compensation and so forth. And these are policies that the DA and the Freedom Front Plus do not agree with. So that's where you have another clash between these three political parties around the policy, as well as the issue around who do you vote for when the council eventually sits, and eventually probably after the by-elections takes place on Wednesday. And we'll have to wait and see how that unfolds.
So do we know of any reasons why the mayor is wanted out?
Well, the allegations that come from the DA is that the mayor is in bed with the ANC. That's the way they put it. They say that the mayor was seen at a meeting with the premier of the Free State. That's the Premier Ace Magashule. I did speak to the mayor about that. The mayor did say that he did have a meeting with Ace Magashule. However, it was not a meeting around how to get the ANC back to govern the Metsimaholo municipality, but rather the conversation that happened was a conversation around the mayor's new job as being a member of the of SALGA, the South African Local Government Association.
Now, the mayor is also challenging his expulsion from the party, and it's marks of some sort of a political desperation. Is he perhaps shooting from the hip?
Well, what the mayor is doing is that the mayor is challenging the vote of no confidence that the DA wants to push against him on Tuesday. That's what he's challenging. On the other hand, you have this the DA member, Mr. Mutiba, who is also the member of the mayoral committee on finance, and he is also challenging his expulsion from the DA. The DA has decided to expel him, and then you have another issue now. Because he's decided to appeal his expulsion, he believes that he's still part of the council of Metsimaholo, and that for the DA is another problem, and that's the reason why the DA, on the other hand, is also going to court to try and force the manager of the municipality to block Mr. Mutibe from being part of any council meetings.
All right, Aldrin, thank you. That is a political reporter, Aldrin Sampear, unpacking for us the sort of conspiracy theory that's unraveling at the Metsimaholo municipality. You are aware that there will be a motion of no confidence against the speaker this coming Tuesday, and of course the by-elections will be held the following day on Wednesday. We'll have all that right here on SABC, and our main man, Sir Aldrin Sampear, will give you all the details regarding that story. Well, Primetime News take a short break, and we're back with more after this.